everyone. Thanks for being here. It's lovely to see you all. Thank you so much for coming. I'll be getting started in just a minute or two, but just making sure that the audio is working and the video is working. So can you let me know? Just pop something in chat for me. Can you hear me okay? And can you see me okay? That would be awesome if you could let me know, please. Why does John want me to reload? Oh, I know, bear with me because I know I do get a little bit of a delay on the chat coming through into, well, Gert can see me because she spotted that I'm in the garden. It's too hot inside. I think we all know what that's like at the moment. And host is Julia, by the way, and she can see and hear me, and so can Susie. That's brilliant. Thank you. That means anybody else, anybody who can't see or hear me, it's kind of your own problem. Right, let's get stuck in then. Welcome to today's live stream then. I'm really glad you could all be here. As you can see, I'm in the garden because it is way too hot in the house, and I am still recovering from a cold, so you'll have to excuse me if I have to have a little bit of a sniff and a nose blow every so often. Now, today we're going to have a look at how YouTube monetization works, because I had a lot of questions when I floated the idea of doing this topic. I had a lot of questions around AdSense and quite how that works. And then a couple of people asked how it works with this new level of monetization at the 500 subscriber threshold and all that sort of thing. Well, I've just been going through that myself with this channel. So I can definitely share that with you as what's happened so far. And as you know, on my main channel, I'm up to 22,000 subscribers, a couple of million watch hours, views rather now. So I think I've got a reasonably good handle on the way the whole monetization things works. So I'm hopefully going to be able to help you. That's the plan. And as I always say, I'm no expert, but I'm always very happy to share what I know so far. So for anybody who doesn't know me, yep, there's mine. That is the other side, isn't it? Back to front, there we are. I'm Tracey Lippett. This channel is YouTube for grown-ups, but that doesn't mean you've got to actually grow up. And anybody who doesn't know me, well, at the moment it's my main channel, and I will always maintain it, and it will always be the dearest one to my heart, is Mini Scenes GB, and that's my craft channel. So there we are. Now, there's been a lot of confusion lately with the changes to how the monetization works around the thresholds, and particularly since they brought in that new 500,000 level. So I'm going to walk you through how that all actually works. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to break it down. So for the first sort of 15 minutes or so, I'm going to walk us through the process from actually applying to getting paid, and then look at how we can influence how much we actually get paid. I'll then pick up on, for about half an hour, I'll spend a bit of time chatting about some of the most common questions that get asked. I've done some research, and hopefully it'll pick up some of the questions that you all asked in our Discord group as well, for those of you who are members of Crafty YouTubers United. And then, of course, I'll set aside some time at the end to pick up any extra questions. We can pick up questions as we go along as well. I'm quite happy to do that. I've got Julia, who's for some reason is still coming up just as host. Oh no, sometimes she's coming up as Julia. Well, whether it comes up as Julia or host, that's Julia. Now, Julia is going to pop questions up on the screen for me in case I miss them. Now, to help us both out, if you could put any questions for me, like in capitals and with a Q at the start, so they jump out, then hopefully we'll be able to pop them on the screen and we'll be able to tackle the questions. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, as always, with your permission, is pop the live chat up on the screen so that everyone who watches this later can see what's going on in the live chat, what questions are being asked, in addition to ones that we actually have to tackle on the screen. Because knowing you guys that are in our chat at the moment, I wouldn't be at all surprised if some of you start asking and answering your own questions in that chat as well. So I'll pop it up on the screen, and I hope that's okay with everyone. If not, do say, and of course we can take it down. But normally we do that and it works a treat. So there we are. At the moment, we've got everybody greeting each other. As you can see, the chat is that way, coming up over here. So who have we got? Hi, Lula. Hi, Susie. Hi, Lynn. Hi, John. Julia, of course. Jenna. Who else have we got? Gert. Have I missed anybody? There's only a few in at the moment, but we are getting there. Sally, of course. And big landmark for me, and what a perfect time to do this. I've got my first member on this channel. Thank you so much, Lynn. And that explains that will help me to explain as well how that 500 member threshold, 500 subscriber threshold actually works, because that's one of the many things that have become alive already. And I can see we've got people friending each other in chat. So I think I've got everyone. Brilliant. So I'll do as I promised. I'm going to start talking through the process. We'll talk about how the monetization actually works, and the YouTube partner program is what we're talking about today. So we're not going to be looking at affiliate schemes, any other sort of money making off the back of your YouTube, but outside of YouTube that we can do. If you want us to talk about that separately, absolutely, we can do that. Hi, Mr. G. Oh, I'm glad you find my channel interesting. Thank you. So yes, today we are focusing on the directly being paid through the YouTube system itself. Now, the YouTube Partner Program, as it's called, is what lets you earn money through YouTube, mainly through the advertisements that it puts on there. But also, those people who have got YouTube Premium, they won't see the adverts, but you still get paid. So I'll explain a bit more of that. It also means, if you're a member of the YouTube Partner Program, that you can get paid through other things that you might think of as tips. So super chats, super stickers. Now, those are the things that people can do to send you little donations, tips, if you like, while you're on a live chat or on a premiere. And also super thanks. So if anybody who sees your video at some other time thinks, gosh, that was great, I really got something from that. Thanks, Tracy. They can send you that super thanks through that. So all of that and the payments through from the advertising all form part of the package of what you get from Google AdSense. The final thing in that mix, of course, is the memberships, and that becomes available at the lower level as well. So let's talk about what comes available at what level and how you actually go about applying. Now, first thing to know is that you don't get full monetization till 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 valid public watch hours. It knows if you're cheating, basically, theoretically. It's cleverer than we think. I won't talk about how you monetize through shorts because I think it is just insane. Just to give you an idea, and this is why I won't talk about it any further, you need 10 million shorts views in the last 90 days. No way. Well, not for me anyway, and I think for most of us who are showcasing our hobbies on YouTube, that's not going to work. We tend to use shorts differently, and they're more to support and promote our channel or to answer very quick questions, that sort of thing. I can't see any of us who are showcasing our hobbies actually monetizing purely through shorts. So I'm going to be talking about through the long format videos. The new bit is the partial monetization, and to monetize the partial level, you only need 500 subscribers and 3,000 valid public watch hours. Now, I've just experienced this because when I monetized the full level, this sort of halfway house didn't exist, this lower level didn't. But this channel that you're watching me now on has just gone past that level. So I now know how all that works. So can I say to you all, and this will be Tracy's top tip of the day, by the way, I'm still suffering from a bit of a cold, so forgive me if I get a bit at times. Sorry. Yeah, Tracy's top tip of the day. If you reach your 500 subscribers and your 3,000 watch hours and you think, is it worth me applying to monetize now? Because the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours will be coming up soon. My tip to you is, yes, do it. And this is the reason why. As soon as you hit that first level or second level, if you do wait that long, you have to apply. Now, that's very simple. If you hit the earn button in your YouTube studio, you'll see it counting up. And where it's counting up, it will tell you how many of those watch hours you've got and how many subscribers you've got. Now, don't panic if those figures look a bit different to what's on the front page on your dashboard, because the dashboard is typically like a hours behind. Your analytics can be a couple of days behind. The earnings one is up to 5 days, I think 5 working days even behind. So don't get confused if they all say different amounts of watch hours and things. Just bear with it, because it does catch up with itself eventually. Now, as soon as you get close to that, you'll know, because obviously you'll be getting a bit paranoid and keep checking it and getting excited. Hi, Sandy. And then YouTube will let you know. You'll go into that page, it'll pop up and say, right, you can apply now. At this point, you just press the apply button and it tells you what to do. Now, the first thing you're going to need is an Adsense account. So it'll take you through to set up that Adsense account. And that's basically the payday system. Hi, Sherry. That's basically, yeah, that's how they pay you. And all of your payments for memberships, super thanks, super chats, super stickers, and the actual Adsense all come through that route. So you need the account. You only need one. Now, as you know, I've actually got 5 channels. I know it's getting really out of hand. The one isn't used anymore, but yeah, even the new cat's got a channel. But my second channel, this one, has just hit that 500 level, and I'd already got an Adsense account. Now, applying for the Adsense account is the bit that takes the time. You've got to get it verified. You've got to prove your ID, all that sort of thing, provide bank details. That is the bit that takes the time. So if you apply for it, as soon as you hit the 500 subscribers, 3,000 watch hours, it's already done for when you hit the full monetization level. That will happen like the fairies did it, like magic. So you don't have to do it again, which is good, isn't it? So this is where I've just been. So my first channel, I applied at the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, because the lower one didn't exist then. It did take a couple of weeks or so to be approved. My Adsense account was set up to which I can attach other channels as they monetize, like this one just has. I don't have to do that again. You only need one Adsense account. So bear with that process. It's really important. So once your Adsense is all set up, you're official. That means that anything else you do can all go piling into there. You're all sorted. So that is why it's worth doing at the 500 level, because it will then happen automatically without you doing anything when you hit the 1,000 and the 4,000, the proper monetization level. So do apply as soon as you can. At the 500 level then, with your 3,000 watch hours, you obviously don't get the full monetization, but what you do get is the supers, which you can think of as tips. So if anybody wants to send you a super thanks when they're watching your video, or a super sticker or a super chat while they're watching your live videos or premieres, or this sort of thing, like a live stream or a normal premiere, then that is now all active on this channel. And I've only got, what am I, about 600 subscribers now. So that is actually active. The other thing that activates at this lower level is members. So I have set up memberships just to get the ball rolling ready on this channel as well now. So that does get you, it gets you ahead of the game. That's the way I look at it. You can get learning, you can get working out where everything goes and what you do and how you get it all set up. Actually, getting your channel approved is quite straightforward. The Adsense bit is the bit where you get the tricky bit where you've got to produce proof of your ID, things with your address on, your bank details, all that sort of thing. Remember to tell it, if you're not in the USA, that you won't be paying US tax, because then it'll pay to you gross without taking the tax off. And that means that, of course, you do have to account for it, because like in the UK, HMRC want to know about it. We're earning money. They do want to know about it. So start keeping records. But just remember to tick that box. Otherwise, you'll be taxed USA tax, and it'll be a right faff to try and get it undone and fixed. So when you apply for the Adsense account, make sure you tell it the correct information about your tax situation, which country you would be paying tax in. Very, very important. So follow the process through. with the AdSense thing, you'll find that your channel approval is really quick. Took 2 days, something like that, because they just want to just look at it and make sure you're not breaching any YouTube policies. And, you know, we all know what the policies are. We haven't got a load of copyright strikes against us. We're not making the sort of videos that YouTube just would never accept. All of that sort of thing. So that's all they're doing. That's all YouTube themselves are doing, is checking to make sure that your channel is okay. So that bit's the easy bit. So having said all that, you've got your channel monetized partially at the 500 subscribers one. It then happens like magic without you even pressing a single button or anything when you hit that 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours, because you've already done all the setup, and so have Google. So that's nice and easy. Then the thing, all you have to do is make sure that your channel is linked up to your AdSense account. Okay, so you just go into your new shiny AdSense account, make sure it's got your channel in there. If not, just put the URL in, link it up, and it all works. It's actually quite straightforward. As I say, the AdSense bit is that's the only faffy bit. But once it's done, it's done. It's the only bit you need. For verifying, this was something people asked about a lot. Where does Julia think she's lost us all? So yes, verifying your AdSense account. I know this is something a lot of you asked about in the Crafty YouTubers United Discord group. They need you to complete 3 verification steps, and currently that is a postal PIN verification. So they'll literally post you by post, snail mail, if you want to call it that, a PIN number which you'll need to put in, and that is verified. That could take a couple of weeks, and that's verifying your address basically. So, you know, it knows that I definitely live here because I got that letter and then I put the PIN number in. It's a bit like they used to do with bank cards, isn't it? ID verification, they ask you to upload or scan a photo of your government-issued ID. Don't have one. This was the tricky bit for me. It needs to match the name and address on your AdSense account. In the end, I ended up sending them, because my name isn't actually on any of the bills for this house, would you believe? And we haven't got a mortgage anymore, so it's surprisingly difficult for me to produce something with my address on. So I sent them the house insurance, which has got my name and address on, because I pay for that, but that doesn't count. It's not a government issue. So I sent my tax return, because I thought HMRC, that's government stuff. They weren't overly impressed with that either. I sent them a driving license thinking DVLA, that's government-y. Yeah. Anyway, in the end, they ended up with so much stuff, they just accepted it, even though none of them were the actual. I think in the end, we had a council tax bill arrive at just the right time, because it had to be a document that was produced in the last 2 or 3 months or something. I think the council tax bill was the final thing that did it. So it is a faff. I do know that. Then they need a bank verification, and they do that by putting. Gert had to get a driving license, even though she isn't going to drive. That's just maddening, isn't it? I mean, it's worth it in the end, isn't it? And thankfully, you do only have to do it once. But yeah, the final thing is they'll do, like, I seem to remember eBay doing this. Put a nominal deposit of a few cents, depending what country you're in, a very small deposit in your bank account, and then you go back into your AdSense and tell it how much you received, and it'll go, yeah, that must be your bank, because you wouldn't know that otherwise. So that's the way it verifies that. Oh, I'm getting a dry throat from this cold. So it can take some time. Just please bear with it. Like I said, once it's done, it's done. Now, at this point, this is all about getting verified and applying and so on. Have we got any questions on that before I move on to how you actually get paid? If so, pop them in the chat. Should we start calling Gert Bert going forward? I quite like that, actually. So if you want to pop any questions in the chat that you have so far about that actual application process, because having gone through it for a second time now with the second channel, it's something quite fresh in my mind, so I could probably talk about quite easily for you. So just chuck them in the chat, and I'm sure Julia will hit a button and make them miraculously appear big on my screen for me so I can see them. It's starting to get dark here. I've got lights. Hope we'll be okay. Not seeing any questions as yet, so I'll carry on. But if you have any, it could just be the delay with the chat appearing on my screen. So don't panic. Just chuck your questions in. Happy to pause and pick them up as we go along. Not a problem. So let's talk about how you actually get paid. Now, there are several items that form your payment from YouTube. And the payment typically comes through between the 21st and the 26th of each month. Now, it's a computer thing, so I've no idea why it doesn't always come through on the same date. I find that slightly infuriating, but hey, it is what it is. So it comes through between the 21st and the 26th of the next month. So at the end of the month, you'll be able to look at your earnings for that month in YouTube Studio, and you'll know how much you're going to get. Now, because it's always a couple of days behind, it's probably not till the 1st or 2nd of the next month that you can actually see the exact amount. And they always say approximate, but to be honest, it's always been bang on when I've never seen even a variation of pence. So it's, you can take that fairly reliably as being what you're going to get paid. And then just over 3 weeks later, the money like magic appears in your bank account. They do send you an email to let you know that they've released it, and usually within a day or so of that, your bank account updates, and there it is. So the money will comprise ad revenue from your videos, first of all. Now that's pre-roll, i.e. videos that go at the start, before your video starts. Even if people press skip, they have to watch a few seconds first before they can hit skip. So that counts. If you've said yes to mid-roll adverts, so there's adverts popping up in the middle of your video. YouTube tries to put them in logical places. You can control it. But I find it best to just let YouTube do its thing. And we've got a question. I'll come to that. Thank you. So there's the mid-roll ads and banner ads, whatever those are. I've never actually seen them. The thing is, you see, I'm a YouTube premium member, so I don't see adverts. So you guys will all have to tell me what adverts you've got running or what I've got running. If somebody's a premium member, rather than using an ad blocker, which is illegal, if you're using YouTube Premium like I am, I pay so much a month for YouTube Premium, and what YouTube will do is give us a cut of that instead. So we're not losing out because some of our viewers have got YouTube Premium. We share in that too, which is great, isn't it? Now, Mr. G is asking how much we get to keep of things. That's a really good question. Thank you, Mr. G. Now, let's cover AdSense first, then I'll come back to the bit that you're talking about here. For the payments that come out of AdSense, we get 55% and Google get 45%, because obviously they've got costs to pay. They're providing the platform to us free. They're providing it to the viewers to watch free, unless you go down the premium route. They've got to cover their costs and make their money. So they will keep 45% and we get the lion's share, the 55%. Now, to answer your question, Mr. G, when it comes to super chats, super stickers, and this also goes for the super thanks, it's 70% that we get to keep, I believe. I believe that's the current amount. It's a higher percentage. So trust me, we appreciate them. For me, as much as the money, which, boy, it helps. It really does. It's the moral support. It's what it means. The fact that people are, appreciating apparently what I'm doing and want to help and support and want to see more of it. I mean, to me, that's absolutely awesome. And I can't begin to tell you how much that means, really. I hope the light's okay, by the way. The light out here is dimming, and I have got lights set up. They're kind of, should we say, budget lights. I need to get some proper lights, don't I? I'll have to do. Anyway, there you go. So I hope that answers that question for you. So obviously we are splitting it with everything with YouTube, because that's how YouTube pays for what it does, which must be fabulously costly. Oh, the lighting's fine, is it? Thanks, Julia. Good. It will get dark out here at some point. It's just gone kind of dusky at the moment. So the other thing to note is that Google stroke AdSense will add up your earnings monthly, and you do have to exceed a certain threshold before it will actually pay out. In the UK, it's £60, and in the US, it's $100, I believe. And so if you don't hit it one month, it'll just roll it over to next month until it does, and then it'll pay out. So don't panic if you don't quite make it in your first few months. You'll just get that added onto the next payment. So sometimes in the early days, you might only get paid every 2 or 3 months, and then it will start to, you know, as you grow and you're getting more views and the more watch hours, that's when you'll start to see the bigger payments. My first, I can't remember what my first one was. I know I did get paid. I cleared the £60. Was it about 70 or 80? Something like that. I can't actually remember. What Gert's just put there, yes. Can I just echo that? And what Sally has said? There's Sally's one. It's really humbling. And let's put Gert's up. Kindness of others is overwhelming. Honestly, it so is. It means, hang on. Ah, good question. Just popped in there from someone called Beautiful with 2 little kisses. That's nice. Just subscribe. How long do you have to wait to live stream trying to start a YouTube channel? That's a great question. I think you have to wait until they've verified your channel. Now, that can be done by sending them loads of information, doing a photo ID and things like that, or you can wait to build up enough, I suppose it's credibility. So you build up enough history with YouTube so that they know you're safe. So after a couple of months of posting regularly videos that aren't going to upset them, very often they will actually open it up so that you can actually do your live streaming. You definitely can when you get to the 500, you know, the monetization levels. But I've been live streaming on this channel since I'd only got like 50 subscribers, something like that. So I think it's as soon as they're happy that your channel is safe. So you can either build up that track record with them, or you can send them a load of ID. Some of it's like sending pictures of your face and things like that with your phone. You can do all of that sort of thing as well. So fairly early doors, really. Now, I don't know what your channel is, Beautiful, but if it's a crafting type of channel, then you would be very welcome to join us at Crafty YouTubers United, because that's a group set up in Discord to basically help and be moral support for any crafters doing YouTube, be they very new or about to start a channel or been around for a few years like some of us have. So just let us know. I'm sure Julia will furnish you with a link. Julia, if you want to, you should be able to pop an invite link in this chat. And I think everybody in this chat is a YouTube channel. So that, or about to be. So it's quite okay to publish that, the invite in our chat here. Thanks, Julia. Anybody in the chat who isn't a YouTube channel or thinking of becoming one, please don't apply, because it just won't be of any use to you. It is for crafters, artists, people like that, starting or thinking of starting a YouTube channel. So Julia's going to provide us with that invite link there. Right, now let's get back. Now, Lynn, we know you're an avid watcher and supporter, aren't you? Which is worth its weight in gold. We love you. Yeah, there's no more questions at this point. Let's take that message down. There we go. There's no more questions at this point. I'll move on to the next bit, but do keep chucking your questions in. What do you mean, but? I think Lynn might be thinking of starting a channel. Oh, serendipity. That's Susie. Let's see what Susie wants to know. They asked me for a photo ID to put clickable links in my description. Does that mean it's already verified for later? Oh, yes, Lynn, we know you're a crafter. Of course you are. We know that. Yes, it might well be, actually. It might well be, Susie. The only thing they'll probably need to do when it comes to verifying your channel going forward would be just to look at it and make sure you haven't put anything nasty that they wouldn't like on there, which, of course, that would be fine, wouldn't it? Oh, it's okay. We can spot it without the caps. You might find that you'll have to, that will be for verifying your channel. You might still have to do it for AdSense though. But anything you provide earlier on should be helpful. It helps. There's less to do when you get further down the line. So absolutely. Now, sometimes payments can get delayed or they just don't go through. So let's just run some common reasons. Sometimes it can be that your PIN number, you haven't verified your PIN number. Sometimes it might be that your ID hasn't been verified. So anything that's holding it up will probably be something that they're waiting for from you within AdSense. So your best bet, if the payment doesn't appear by magic when you think it should, is to go into your AdSense, and there will be messages asking you for whatever information is still outstanding, and just crack on with it as quick as you can. You won't lose the payment that's been delayed. It will just be delayed. But that will be what it is. Sometimes it can be that your bank details haven't been accepted, and that could be as simple as you've typed in the wrong account number or something daft like that. So it could, again, if you go into AdSense, it will tell you what the problem is. So just have a quick look. Hi, Sandy. Just have a quick look and it should be very clear. Thankfully, when I found those bits missing, it was extremely clear what was missing. So it was very easy to sort out. The other thing is, of course, you might not have hit that payment threshold this month. As I said earlier, don't panic, because you would be able to, if say you only got to like £30, $50, it'll just be added onto the next month. And if that then makes your threshold, then you're away. You'll get paid that month instead. So don't panic if that's the case. It could be, and let's hope this doesn't happen to any of it. It's not happened to me so far. It could be as well that your content's under review because they think you violated policy somewhere. Now, as we are crafters on YouTube, it's really unlikely that any of us is going to breach a policy. I suppose copyright we could do accidentally, but a lot of the other stuff, like, I don't know, what else might there be? Not declaring AI stuff, not ticking that box to say that there's AI being used to generate some of these songs or something. Or it could be that you've got copyright strikes against you for some of the music or images you've used. Those are about the only sort of traps I think that we could accidentally fall into. So it could be that, have we got someone called Tiger in chat? Hello, Tiger. Yeah, it could be that you've inadvertently fallen into one of those traps and that's what's holding up the payment. So obviously the quicker you can talk to YouTube and get that sorted, the quicker they'll get it cleared. I have to say, touch, I'm looking for wood to touch. I'll find some later. Touch wood. That's never happened to me. And also bear in mind that the YouTube, as I said earlier, that what they show you within YouTube is an estimate. It could be that there's some adjustments to do before they actually pay it out. But like I said, it is pretty accurate. I've not found any discrepancies really. But what you see in AdSense is definitely going to be the final amount. And don't forget, it's always going to be at least a couple of days behind. Look at me being organised. I made notes. You impressed? Now, have we got... how many strikes? That's a really good question. Show. There we are. How many strikes are you allowed before YouTube removes you from the YouTube program? It depends. Now, we can get warnings, and I've had 2 of those because I'd accidentally, it was background music that I hadn't taken out. So I fixed that and it just sorted itself out. They reapproved it, no problem. That doesn't count. Those are just warnings. And what can happen with those is that they can just demonetize that video. Bear with me. Sorry about that, folks. There's one, I'm sure some of you will know the one, when I have deliberately used the old Batman theme and they just sent me a warning and said, you're not going to be able to monetize this one. You use copyrighted music. And I said, fine. I didn't intend to. I actually wanted to use the copyrighted music. If the original creators of that music want to be credited for it, please do. I used it knowing that that would be the case and that they would get the credit for it. That's fine. So these are all just little glitches and warnings, really. if you get a strike, that's serious stuff. And I've heard it said that there's 3 strikes and you're out is a rule, but I think it depends what it is. I really have, because some people have completely lost their channels. Others have, excuse me, oh dear, I'm sorry. I should be going to get over this cold. Others have had substantial channels demonetized. The worst I've heard of, and I don't think he had any warnings, it was just bam and we demonetized you, was a channel called Disturban. Those of you who like very hunky men from Sheffield telling you about horrible true crime stories in the most incredible, sensitive and brilliant way, Disturban's your man. His channel, he was at about 700,000 subscribers. It's his livelihood. And they demonetized him for reused content. And he approached them and said, this is my real voice, because he said his voice is incredible. This is my real voice. This is really what I sound like. This is really me. I do all the research. I have to use photos from crime scenes and things like that. But it is very much his own work. It's beautifully presented. And he had to go on camera to prove he was real. And that's when we all realised he looks like Jason Momoa, but from Yorkshire. But he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be a faceless channel. Anyway, Google got absolutely hit with, I think, hundreds of thousands of viewers petitioning. And they remonetized his channel. And it was, because that doesn't often happen, but they did listen. Copyright music, I don't think we need to panic about too much, because we get a warning and we can go in and we can take it out or replace it. Avoid it if you can, of course, because it's a real pain and it can really mess up your video because it isn't like you wanted it. So if you can use music from Epidemic Sounds, from Nick Nimin's channel where it's free, from Suno where you own the rights to it, or any of mine if you're in the Crafty YouTubers United group, help yourself. You've all got access if you want it. Then you shouldn't be running that risk at all. So yeah, in terms of actually being demonetized and how many copyright strikes, I think it does depend what it is. If you do something really, really, really bad, like threatening people, it can be one hit and out. But that's not going to happen to us, is it? Like I said, I think it's the more minor stuff that we get warnings about, and a few of those isn't going to do us any harm at all. What Gert's just mentioned, actually, the music, can we pop that on? One that Gert's just mentioned, some can change later. Oh, Sally's found Disturban as well. That's what she's talking about, yeah. Some can change later. Yes, this is, thank you, Julia, for popping that up on screen for us. This is a point I wanted to make. Sometimes a song can be copyright free, like the stuff that comes in our editing software. And the author of that music, is author the right word? Composer of it or whatever, can change their mind. And so it can actually pop up a copyright issue like 2 or 3 years later. I've had a couple like that. And I just took a bit of the music in out because it was on an old video, and I thought it's only got a few hundred views anyway. It's not going to make an eyeful of difference. So I just took it out. Within a day, YouTube had gone, that's all right, and put it back on. So I don't think, bearing in mind the niche that most of us here are crafters, other than being careful with the music situation, I don't think we've got too much to worry about, because let's face it, most of us don't go around threatening people, using torrents of foul language, showing really harmful, cruel videos. We make shiny things. We shouldn't have an issue. Now, the next question. Oh, Sally said, heard anything Thor 1920 is okay. I think that is, let's just stick that on screen. I think Julia beat me to it there. There we go. 1920 could be because there was no copyright prior to that. I know classical music is not subject to copyright, which is why you get rock bands and all sorts will use the intro from a bit of Mozart or whatever. So I believe that's not subject to copyright. Now, nobody quote me on that. That's just my understanding. Just check your facts on that. But I think potentially that could be correct. Yeah. Okay. Now, I've got a question here. I'm working now through some of the questions that have actually been sent in the last few weeks since I flagged this up as a topic we were going to talk about. And that was, do you need to be a business or self-employed to receive your AdSense payments? No, you don't, but you are responsible for reporting the tax. So I did register Mini Scenes as a business because, of course, I sell a few things as well. So I did actually register myself as self-employed. You don't have to, but what you do need to do is talk to HMRC in Britain, in your other countries, check with your tax rules, your local tax offices, make sure you know what you're doing, because it's some way you do have to account for this. Now, what I have found is that I spend so blinking much to Mark's delight, on things and stuff still, that honestly, I don't pay tax on it, because I'm already paying tax on my other income, on my pension and the bit I get from the museum. But the YouTube money kind of wipes itself out because of the amount of expenses that I have as well, and the amount of stuff that we can totally legitimately and allowably claim. Allowably? Is that a word? Allowable expenses anyway. But yeah, so you don't need to be a business or self-employed to get paid. No, but do keep accounts and do tell HMRC what you're doing. Another question was, can I use one AdSense account for multiple channels? Yes, as I mentioned earlier, you definitely can. That's all I did when this channel has hit this partial monetization level. I just hooked it up. Sally has now popped up another. Oh, sorry, Julia. Sorry, Julia's putting the questions up, and I'm clicking them as well. It's confusing the system. Sorry, Julia. I'll stop clicking things. Sally wants to know, how much can you earn through AdSense before you have to declare it? Any side hustles we can get away with? Income. Now, this is gross income of £1,000. Now, bearing in mind, you also might have spent £1,000 on stuff, or two. In my case, early days, I spent £2,000 or £3,000 on stuff, but the income alone had been like over £1,000. So I was running at a loss, a substantial loss. But I had to declare it because that income stream was over £1,000. So I did. And the taxman owed me some money back. Yay, go me. Because I'd actually run at a bit of a loss. So the magic number for side hustles, which effectively, this is what the revenue would call it if you're not actually registering as a business, is £1,000. But that is purely, it's the absolute income before you take off any expenses. So it's no good thinking, yeah, but I haven't made £1,000 profit. That's not what they're looking at. It's the £1,000 actual income. That is what they will they want you to register it as. Let's have a look. Where are we? Can I monetize shorts? Somebody asked that. Yes. For our niche, as I said earlier, I don't think it'll work, to be honest. I think we're better sticking, say, our niche. I'm assuming that most of you watching today are crafters and hobbyists thinking of or doing YouTube or whatever. For us, like I said earlier, our short form videos, the little vertical, less than 3 minutes ones, those tend to be better for driving more traffic to our channel or answering quick questions, things like that, or just little fun pieces. The earnings per view are tiny. Well, you can imagine. They're only they tend to be between 1 and 3 minutes long, don't they, nowadays? And so they haven't got much time for running adverts in that. So you're not going to earn much. I think the RPM, that's the revenue per M. What's the M? Per 1,000 per meal, per 1,000. Revenue per meal is something like about 10p online. Whereas on the long format videos, it's more like 25, 30 quid. This then begs the question, how can you influence how much you get paid by these videos? The longer people watch, the more adverts they see, the more you get paid. It really is Simple as that. So better you can make your videos, so the longer people want to watch them for and the more people want to watch them, that is how you will influence what you get paid. It really is that simple. Now, Susie has asked, you can choose between self-employed or PLC. I just picked self-employed. This is something you probably need to check out separately and take legal advice on, because it's not my field of expertise as to which you should register as. I think if we get a lot bigger and start employing people, then it might be a different ball game. I just went for self-employed because it's just me and it's going to be a fairly low income. But that's something I wouldn't feel comfortable with advising on. So it's a very good question, Susie. And that's something we might need to look into separately, I'm afraid. Not one I can advise you on here and now. If I do happen to find out, I'll let you know. So, a couple of quickie questions as well that we've got here. Somebody's asked, what happens if my subscriber count or views drop after you've been accepted into the program? Nothing, you're all right. The only time you would drop out of the program is if you really badly break YouTube's rule, or your channel goes inactive for a long time, and we're talking a very, very long time here. We're probably talking years or something. So just because they're having a clear out, and that makes sense, doesn't it? So if you're on 1,050 subscribers, you've got your 4,000 watch hours in that rolling 365 days. And oh no, a few people cancel. So you're down to 950 subscribers and your watch hours have slowed right down, and you've now gone for the last year, you've only got 3,000 odd watch hours. It's okay. And once you're in the YouTube program, you're in the YouTube program. So it should be absolutely fine. Obviously, your earnings would drop accordingly if you're not getting as many views, but you're still in the program. It's not a problem. Once you've hit that threshold, you've hit that threshold. I think I've got all of the questions that are on my frequently asked questions here. Has anybody got any more questions for me? Anything to do with getting paid by YouTube? Bye, Lula. I hope I've cleared up quite a lot, because I know a lot of you had put plenty of questions for me in our Discord group chat that many of you are in. But if there are any more, we're running right on schedule. Got a good 10 minutes or more left, so if there's any more questions. Then just pop them in. Bear in mind, I am getting a bit of a delay on the chat coming through. So if you typed one in and you're thinking, I have, Tracy, I have, just bear with me, because it might just be updating. While you're all thinking about it and thinking of some more questions for me, first of all, thank you all so much for being here and for all of your questions. But secondly, what else would you like me to talk about? I was thinking of having a workshop on thumbnails, because I think in our niche, the standard advice on thumbnails might need flexing a little. Again, saying our niche, I'm thinking crafters amongst us on YouTube. So I'm thinking maybe we could do a bit of a workshop on that. I haven't got all the answers on it, by the way. Oh, here comes a... Sorry, Julia, I clicked it again, didn't I? I'm clicking it again. Julia's going to kill me. Right. Sally's asking a really good question there again. Not sure if to do membership or not. Is it worth it for the extra work you have to do? Honestly, I think I'm quite lazy with my memberships. I've found that most of my members, they like a bit of behind the scenes, and I don't do enough of that. Sorry, members. They seem to appreciate getting early views of the videos that I'm putting out anyway. Which is easy. That's just to press a button and they can get to see them like a day or two early or a week early or whatever you want to do. You can do extra videos just for your members. I've done a couple, and those tend to be the kind of behind the scenes. I did a bit of vlogging a day at the museum and things like that. So yes, you don't have to do anything what you do is up to you and your choices. I'm going to do a members giveaway soon. I've been promising to do that for ages, and I keep forgetting. I've got one of the anti-resin guinea pig molds that I'm going to do as a giveaway for the members on my craft channel. So yeah, you don't have to do anything. It's up to you how much you want to do and how much you want to give. Most of the members seem to do their memberships more for supporting and feeling part of it, and just being wonderful friends and so kind, rather than what freebies they're going to get. Most people are doing it just to be part of it rather than for what they're going to get, I find, which is rather lovely. I've done a members only live, and I think only a couple of people could make it because, of course, they're all around the world. So that was a difficult one, time slot wise and things like that. I think members are just grateful for whatever you want to offer. I do think a nice, easy one without creating any more work that is appreciated, as far as I can tell, is the early viewing of videos that you're doing anyway. Occasional behind the scenes videos. I've got a load of colouring pages. Every so often I do a few new ones because I'm making them for myself, so I'll share those out. I know Lula shares her music library that she does with Suno. She's sharing that out. Monthly challenges for members, apparently Nicole at Blue Elephant does. That sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? So you can get ideas from other YouTubers and see what you fancy doing. And I think the thing is to create your own package that suits what you can do. And yes, there can be extra work involved, but commit to what you can do genuinely, without overcommitting, and make it clear what people are getting for that, so that they are not expecting too much, or they're expecting a load less and you're doing more than you need to. It's a difficult one. I keep meaning to drop into my members chat and say, hello, you lot. I've got a members chat in Discord. I do not check it enough. I'm sorry I don't. I keep forgetting. But I keep meaning to drop in there and say, what would you guys like? What do you want? And I think that's the trick, is to just ask. What I'm not going to get into is doing giveaways every week or every month, because frankly that gets to be difficult. I think with members it's easier because your members are people who really communicate with you and will get back to you with their postal details if they win something and all that sort of thing. Other giveaways, you wouldn't believe how many unclaimed prizes I end up with. It's just insane. That's just the regular giveaways. So that's interesting what Lynn's saying. Very few do extras for their members. And I think that is, as I said, it's just that people just like to help and support and be part of it, and just be behind you somehow. And the membership's a really great way of doing it. Another question I get asked sometimes is, what about doing Patreon instead? Because I know some crafters don't do the memberships through YouTube. They use Patreon because they don't want YouTube to have control of everything. But that to me is yet another extra platform to have to watch. Patreon will take their cut of it in the same way as YouTube would anyway. So I like to just have my little Discord chat. Susie, you didn't win them all. The ones I've got left, I am going to start distributing them through other channels. When I do other giveaways, that they will find their way out to everybody, don't worry. I will use them as members giveaways and things like that, I'm sure, and perhaps within the Discord group too. Why not? Where was I going? Yes. So I think the difficulty is, and this is a word of warning for you, it's very easy for your memberships to become like a little elite group that everybody else feels pushed out from and excluded. Now, don't forget your memberships. There you go. Lynn's just hit the nail on the head. I think Lynn is a classic example. She supports a lot of artists. I know. Lynn's awesome. We appreciate it massively. And she's one of these people who doesn't expect anything back, which I think is, the level of kindness there is just amazing. We love you, Lynn. We really do. So I think that is often the case. But yes, there is a danger of doing so much for your members that everybody else feels like they're second-class citizens. So I know there are channels that don't seem to be able to make a decision on anything without putting it to a vote with their members, or all of the giveaways they do every month loudly are for their members only, and yet they broadcast that on their main channel. And I fear that you want to do special things for your members, and you do want to look after them, and you do want to make sure that you know that they know that you're appreciating them and they're special to you. But you need to be careful how you vocalize that publicly too much, because it can make all those who can't afford to support and join other people's channels, you can make them feel like they don't matter. Of course they do, because they're watching your videos, and that is they're the people who are seeing the adverts and what's feeding your AdSense account. So you have to be very careful while supporting your members and being grateful and doing nice things for them, that you don't alienate all your regular viewers and subscribers. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's a bit of a balance. Kurt wants everyone to be welcome. Almost everyone. Yeah. Yeah. Kurt's nice came out there. See, I keep telling her she's nice. She doesn't believe me. Any more questions? Because these are some cracking questions. I'm more than happy to. I'm okay for time. We're up to the hour now. I've covered the main things that I'd had come in. If you've got any more questions, then we can carry on. Happy to talk on memberships, supers and all that. And Lego. In fact, Julia, is she going to make that one pop up on the screen? Yes, there it is. Now, if I was indoors, I'd get Lego to come and see you. But Lego's my new cat, for anybody who doesn't know. And he's the reason that my arm looks a bit of a mess. Look, cut to shreds. He's got sharp kitten teeth and claws still, even though he's quite big. He's doing great, but he's still got to stay in. And of course, as you can see, I'm in the garden because it's too hot inside. Well, the fan's going, but my poor laptop keeps overheating. So I had to come outside, and he's not allowed out yet. He's got his injections tomorrow, and he's learning not to be quite so scratchy. He's only playing. In the last couple of nights, he's been very, very good, and he's curled up next to the bed and just slept and not ambushed me till about 7 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, he's settling in really well. So other than the cat update, any more questions? While you're all thinking on that, I did see somebody give a bit of a thumbs up for the idea of perhaps doing a bit of a workshop on thumbnails soon. Can definitely do that. I think what I'd like to do for that, though, so I want some volunteers. I'd like to have some guests on. If we can have someone who's been trialing AI images, someone who's been doing like lots of photos and those, you know, on simple backgrounds, those sort of thumbnails. Obviously, I've got my style with like big text and a big thing in the middle of the screen. See what I mean? If we can get people who have been like testing and championing their style of thumbnails, maybe if we can have like 3 or 4 of us on the screen, and then as guests, you know, properly on screen like Julia did last time we did this live. And then we can debate it. You know, we can put the case for what we're finding ourselves. We can, or those of you in the typed in chat can put in questions and what you think. Let's just have an open debate on it. I'll tell you what I have been thinking of doing, and that's trying to get an actual expert in. I have just tentatively made contact with Brian G. Johnson. Do you know who Brian G. Johnson is? He's an older chappie doing YouTube, and he's a YouTube guru, and he really is. He's the real deal. He's very personable. He talks a lot of sense. I find him quite amusing. But I was in one of his lives recently, and I put comments on his saying, I'd love you to come on my channel. I've got this little channel. This is what we're trying to do. And he just replied, sure thing. So I'm going to drop him an email. Now, if I could get him to come on the channel, maybe as a follow-up to our thumbnails thing, as an actual expert, I'd have to give him a chance to have a look at the sort of thumbnails we're all using, but he can easily do that, can't he? And form an opinion. You see, already there's people in chat. Sherry's got one here. It looks perfect. I want to be honest with my thumbnail since most of my projects fail. Yeah, so mine do too. So I want to learn how to do a realistic, honest thumbnail, but still make it look good. I think you got it in a nutshell. That should be the aim, I think. I typically don't show my finished product. Wise lady called Claire's Crafty Corner once said to me, don't, because that people will just want to see how they do it, and then they've already seen the end, and so they'll switch off. Try to get them intrigued with the mould and the product that you're using. So I've tried that, but recently I have put the finished product on the screen, and it also worked. So I think there's different ways of looking at it. AI we have to be careful with, I think, because it can be misleading. I do use AI for an awful lot of stuff, but not my thumbnails. I think we can use it for our thumbnails as long as it's misleading. Also, I think there's things that with our thumbnails, we're going off topic a bit here, aren't we? Hi Sally. If we just sort of test the water a bit with the thumbnail thing, and so maybe to get you all thinking, I think, yeah, what Sally's just said there, not Sally, Susie just said there, can be disappointing. You've got an AI image and then the finished thing looks nothing like it. And that can really, really annoy people, can't it? So it can be. But I'm sure there's ways that we can use it. I do love a bit of AI, to be fair. I'm sure there's ways we can use it. The thing we have to remember is who our audience is in all of this. Don't know about you lot, but I guess you're similar. Those of you who are resin crafters, I'd be very sure it's similar. Most of your audience are ladies of my sort of age group, a bit younger, a bit older, sort of 50, 60, late 40s onwards, that sort of thing. We will not like an in-your-face, aggressive-looking thumbnail. It will just make us go, ooh, and switch off. We also wouldn't like anything too complicated and fussy and looking. We just want something that's actually simple, honest, clear, tells us what the video is all about. Oh, Gert actually got complaints using AI. Yeah, I saw a few people did, because obviously I do pop in and I watch your videos when I can. It's hard to get around everybody, and I know I can't see them all. But when I do get chance, and pop comments in, I do see some of the things that people have mentioned. Lynn's just put a really... Lynn, you're ace. Lynn's really good for tips. Look at this one. Need to stop telling people they can skip forward on videos. It's a fair point. I find myself doing that sometimes because I think I'd rather than watch some of it than just think and not watch it at all. It's a good point, though, Lynn. It's a very good point. Lynn, we should have you in our group as our viewer consultant, shouldn't we? Do you fancy it? I think that might be very useful, actually. An outside view from somebody who's obviously very, very well clued up on watching what we're doing. Nice one, Lynn. To tell you what, Lynn, send me all the rest of your tips. We'll make a bit of... Do you want to be a guest, Lynn? That might be useful, mightn't it? Because Lynn watches so many of our channels. I know, Lynn, you're always in everybody's chats, aren't you? Would you fancy being a guest? Lol. Julia thinks it's a great idea. Lynn, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but let me know, because it might be. It might be very interesting, and it'd be really fun for us all to get to know you anyway, because you're supporting us all so much, and you're always so good to have around. We love having you about. So, yeah, an expert viewer. That might be an interesting take, mightn't it? Lynn's top tips, and we could throw them all up on the screen and discuss them and explain why we do the things we do, and maybe it'll make us stop and think about a few things like that. Lynn says she's a retired lawyer and a pain in the butt. That might be handy, Lynn. That might be just what we all need. Katrina's just put a comment on. I've noticed that most of my videos, people only watch about a third on average according to the analytics. That's actually quite good. That is quite good, Katrina. Mine tend to hover around that too. And I thought that was awful. It then turned out you've got a certain amount of people who will watch the start, They'll go, oh, I get what she's doing now. Right, I'm with it. I understand what she's doing. I've seen this technique before. I just want to see the end bit. And they will skip forward. Fine. I'd rather they do that than not watch. You will also get people who will watch on 1.25 speed or 1.5 times speed or 2 times speed. I think I get a bit less of that because I tend to talk quite quick. I sound like a chipmunk if you speed me up. But that can happen. And again, the view I take is, well, okay, that means I get less watch hours from it, but it does mean that they've watched rather than not watched. So if they're watching on their terms. Don't forget as well, every time someone clicks into your video, just watches the first 5-10 seconds and then thinks, oh, I've seen this one before, and clicks away. So they have only seen like 1% of your video. That's going to bring your average down, but it's perfectly genuine and legitimate. Something to be aware of, and I think a lot of people have fallen foul of this, is those jingles at the start. Now, somebody as big as Julie Cutts, we all know who Julie is, I'm sure, pouring your heart out. She's got her beautiful little jingle at the start. She is so big, and we all know her, and we know that jingle, and we know we want to stop and watch the video, that I bet it doesn't impact her at all. But for most of us, if we've got a jingly bit at the start, people will just go, get on with it. This isn't what I wanted to see. And rather than skip past your jingle or sit there going, oh, this is nice, and appreciate it, they'll just go and on to the next video. So you've only got like a 10-second view. And of course, that impacts your average as well. So there's a lot of things that can influence it. It can also be that people get halfway through your video and then realise, oh, I've got to go for lunch, or, oh, I'm late for work, or bedtime, whatever it is. And they might come back and watch the whole thing a day or two later. But you have got that one that's registered as only being half watched. So don't stress it. Apparently, for a long format video, 1/3 is actually quite good. So you should be pleased with that. If you watch a video twice, does it count for watch hours twice? Yeah, it can do. Yeah. So, and also if people go back to a bit of your video that they want to watch 3 or 4 times over. I'm watching a lady who does tutorials on watercolours at the moment. And I keep going back and watching the same bit because I'm trying to copy her. She's really good. And that is going to add up the watch hours. Yeah, if the same person leaves it on loop all day, I don't think it does. No, this is what they mean when they say valid watch hours. I think YouTube starts to spot that that's going on. So if you're trying to help a friend out by watching their videos all through, you're better off literally running a full playlist of all of their videos so that they get every one of them watched once or twice, and then that will count more. But Susie's got a jingle. Maybe you should drop it. Try it and see. I know when I dropped mine, my average view duration went from about 15-20% to 30%, just like that. And you know the retention in the first 30 seconds. Now YouTube obviously thinks that's really important because it's even there specifically detailed in your analytics, isn't it? And so if you look at that, mine went from, I was getting at least a 50% drop off. Some of my videos were getting like a 70% drop off in that first few seconds. The minute I dropped it, bam, I never get one that's worse than a 30% drop off now. Most of mine are 15-20% drop offs, which would be fairly normal. And that's the bit where people have gone, oh, have you seen this? And click away. So I'm okay with that. So yeah, I would say, yeah, Gert does that. She runs through people's playlists. If you're trying to help somebody get monetized, that's a valuable thing to do. I know we've all done that within a little Discord group. We said, oh, somebody's close. Everybody run their videos. So I'll go to bed leaving someone's entire playlist playing. I think we've all been doing it. Long term, I mean, we can't keep doing that, can we? And YouTube, I don't think would be very impressed. But when it's somebody new and they're just trying to monetize and they're just trying to get those extra few watch hours, then yeah, that's a great way to help them. So there's a couple of thoughts coming in. Katrina has said, maybe I should put the thank yous up at the end. Yeah. Or in the middle. Why not? A couple of people have said, maybe I should drop my intro jingle. If you're really precious about it and you love your intro jingle, you could try the Toonfish Crafts approach. And I know Lula's got rather nifty at this as well. And that is, do something first. So I know like both of those now do a talky bit first. Both of them are actually coming on camera at the start. But even if you don't go on camera, do you remember when Wendy sometimes puts her bloopers at the start, when she knocks a tin of glitter everywhere, or pigments go all over the desk, or something shoots out of her hand. And Lula does a talky bit, and then she says, "Let's go play." And you get the magic hands and a little jingle, and then into the main body of it. What's happened there is that they've already done the bit that you need to do, and that's get straight to the point and tell people what the video is about within the first few seconds. So people go, "Oh, I want to watch this." They call it the hook. So if you can get that hook right, I don't always get it right. In fact, I very rarely get it right, probably. But if you can get that hook right, if you then want to put your little jingle after it, once you've captured people's attention, then by all means, give that a try. But at the start, especially if it's quite a loud or dramatic one, remember what our average audience is. Is that really going to work for the audience that you're looking for? If it is, great. But just think about who your audience is and what might appeal to them. I don't like things that make people jump with my videos. I like to fade things in and out, and it ought to be quite, even though I tend to crack on with it, I do like it to be quite relaxed, so nothing goes bang and pop on the screen. I tend to work, and everything fades in and out, the music fades in and out, all that sort of thing. Thank yous I like to get in, and I do tend to put them towards the end, because the people I want to thank generally are the sort of people who are watching through to the end, I would say. So I do tend to put them at the end. In terms of, I know there's a little tip that I picked up from many YouTube gurus, when to ask people to subscribe, like, and all that. It's no good asking them at the start, because they don't know what they're getting yet. It's also, and this is when I tend to do it because I forget to do it properly, but it's not much good putting it at the end, because some people, other than your greatest fans who would be liking and subscribing and stuff anyway, some people will have already gone, right, I've seen the finished thing, I'm off. So they won't still be there at the end for your glamour shots and your little outro. The time to do it is when you've just added value. Now, for the resin crafters amongst us, I'm sure this applies to a lot of other hobbies that people might want to showcase too. Demold. You'll notice, now I know Daniel Cooper does this so well. He'll go, there we go, this is the thing, isn't this awesome, isn't it marvellous? And while he's showing and demolding this thing that makes us all go, oh, look at that, he's saying, if you'd like to subscribe, if you'd like to do a thumbs up, thank you to the people who bought me a coffee, all these other things. That's the time to do it, when people are going, oh, and you've just really impressed them. They've been waiting with bated breath for this point at which you do your big reveal. That's the time to do it, apparently. I'm going to start putting a thank you to my subscribers up on the screen. I know a lot of people do that. Steve McDonald has always done it. There's a few that do put it down the side of the screen. I've never actually done that. Not subscribers, members. That's what I meant. I've never actually done that. Steve McDonald has his coffee board as well. I've never known whether to or not, really. I think the members, I might. I'll give it a try. I'm going to ask my members whether they would be happy with that or not, because some people, their memberships, they like to keep private. So I might just ask them first. And if I do, it won't be at the start. It'll be part way through, and I'll just have it scrolling down the screen at the point at which I'll be saying, oh, and thank you to all who subscribed. Thank you very much to my lovely members and all that sort of thing. Don't know. That's something I'm going to experiment with. Anybody else got any more thoughts or questions? We've well strayed off the topic of AdSense and monetization, but happy to chat around and pick up a few more questions. No problem with that. As I always say, though, remember I am and never will pretend to be an expert. This is just things I've been finding out as I've gone along. I'm coming up 3 years now with my channel. Up 2.5-ish, something like that. And I have learned a lot of things along the way. Oh, Susie said Steve McDonald scroll past so fast you can't see them anyway. True, but you can slow it down. You can slow it down, can't you? Did you know that you know where you can speed up your viewing? You can slow it down as well. There's a couple of people I watch that talk really fast, so I slow them down. So you could slow Steve down and have a look. He has got so many, hasn't he? They'd be on the screen all day. His membership's very, very strong. Any other thoughts, questions on anything? Anything to do with YouTube? Being specific. I did joke recently to one or two of our friends. I said one of these days I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything session. I can't promise I'll answer everything, but you could literally ask me all sorts of random stupid things that you've been wondering. I did this at the end of a training course once and got asked I said, have you got any questions on anything? The course had been about farm insurance or something. Any questions on anything? And somebody said, what do you do about clematis wilt? Thankfully, I knew the answer to that. Got absolutely nothing to do with the topic of the course. But anyway, for slowdown, is that only on a computer on YouTube? I don't know, because I always watch YouTube on my laptop. So I don't know. Can somebody... Oh, Julia can do it on her phone. Lynn was going to ask if I could babysit next week. Don't trust me with kids, Lynn. No. Pets, yes. Kids, no. There's a good reason I never had any. John's already got... It was John I was joking about the clematis thing with. Honestly, I did know the answer to that one. Yeah. Yeah, there's no the reason I didn't have kids. I'm way too irresponsible. And I think Mark might be... No, actually, Mark would have been a good dad, I think. He just wasn't that bothered. So not babysitting, no. I'll answer it, but he'd be told no. Sally was told in a comment that I mumble, so people wouldn't want to watch me slow down. Sally, I find your videos lovely and relaxing to watch. They're a lovely slow pace. Not too slow, because you don't leave great long silences and things in. It's just got that nice... It's a bit like being on your boat. It's got that nice ebb and flow to it. It's lovely. People can speed you up if they want to anyway, can't they? But yeah, you don't mumble. Sandy says how she can only fast forward or rewind. Oh, it's in the settings, Sandy. If you go to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you should find a little cog in the settings, and that's where you will find it. It's kind of... Oh, well, no, I can't show you my mouse on here, can I? It's right, I'm not mirrored. It'll be down there somewhere. That corner, there's a little cog, and you click on that. It's the bit where the subtitles and all that sort of thing is. Oh, hi, 55. Good to see you. I'm over after 55 too, if that means age. So, yeah. Well, we've been going an hour and 20 minutes, and you know we haven't talked for England. The lights appear to be working okay-ish, so I'm quite happy to be here for as long as you want. If there's more questions, shout up, let me know. Or anything you'd like to talk about. But we will do that thumbnail. Someone's asked her bra size. Oh, has anybody seen my video about my bra fitting? That was funny. Katrina, bra size. Yeah. On this channel, there's a video called what was it? 10 weird things about getting... No, 10 stupid things about getting older. I think it's 10. Julia, could you grab the link for me, please, Chuck? Yeah, and the last one is a bra fitting. And everybody's just been killing themselves laughing at the look on my face at the end. It's one of the odd things I did recently. Thanks, Julia. It's a short video, but if you want a quick giggle, I was just stood in front of the bathroom mirror having a rant about things. Any more while we're here? Is there anything else you would like me to talk about on this channel? Because just to recap, first of all, while you think about that, I set this channel up because I was getting a lot of questions about doing YouTube as a crafter. And as I've always said, not an expert, but happy to share what the bits that I do know or have found out or what I think about things. I've kind of started expanding that by interviewing people who have turned hobbies into businesses or YouTube channels. And I have got a bunch more of these lined up soon. I'm only going to try and do like one a month, I think. because obviously they take a lot of work. It's me going out to visit people, which I have so enjoyed doing. The lovely Sally on a boat was the second one I did. And I'm finding it really intriguing. I just see people doing YouTube channels or businesses that have spawned out of hobbies and think, how do they do that? Why does this work? What's going on here? How do they do that? You know, so I'm quite enjoying going out and doing those. But the whole focus of this channel was to talk about how we turn hobbies into businesses, or in particular YouTube channels, and in the hope that it will inspire people, answer questions, and heck, my curiosity, and just share some knowledge. So yeah, if there's anybody you think I should get hold of and try and interview, trust me, I am going to try Julie Cutts. I can't imagine for 1 second she would have time, but I would love to interview her. I really, really would. So I am going to try. So if there's anybody else that you think of, I'm thinking beyond resin crafting though, because we've kind of done that with the help of Sally and with the help of Lou from Create and Bloom. So beyond that, who else could I go and interview? Just to let you know what I've got lined up. Oh yeah, thank you, Julia. She's just popped out the link for that 10 stupid things about getting older. And when that mentions, that's the bra fitting one. So yes, what I've got lined up, I've got Nigel the Magnet Fisherman. Yes, that's a thing. And by golly, does Nigel film it well. He's a real pioneer of filming magnet fishing. And he's also usefully a good friend of John's, our friend JD Dubber. So I have him to thank for that contact. I have got the Tiny Turner, Emma from the Tiny Turner, lined up probably for the new year because she's very, very busy till then. I've also got Beck Makes. So this is kind of all the resin craft stuff got covered, but from different perspectives. Beck Makes goes on TV a lot, more than YouTube. So she'll be interesting. Who else have I got? I've got on my hit list if they reply. Brian G. Johnson, the YouTube guru. I've also got Sheffield Made Plants, who gave up his full-time job to be a very successful bloke talking about houseplants. So that's interesting to me. And there's more. I can't think. Oh, Alexis Blake I'm going to try and get hold of as well. She's the most amazing and common sense and beautiful person, transgender lady who tells her story. She's become a very big YouTuber more or less by accident, just by telling her story. So yeah, I really want to try and get hold of her. So yeah, if there's anybody you know who's got a YouTube channel particularly that's spawned out of a hobby that they film particularly well, and you think they might be up to it, be it small channel, big channel, if they're just interesting and seem to be filming it particularly well and doing really well with it, then I want to talk to them. And if they're in the UK, I will go and see them like I did with Sally. I think it took me about 3 hours to get to see Sally. Stayed overnight, drank all their gin. Then I went to see Matt, the fish tank guy, fish shop Matt. On the way back, he was about an hour on the way back from where I was seeing Sally. I'm going to be doing a bit of a tour of the UK at some point doing this. So anybody who'd like to see me visit and ask all sorts of really nosy questions of, then let me know who they are. And if you can, the links. Hi, Alison, we've got your name there. Alison, you're a crafter on YouTube? I think you said you wanted to do YouTube because you love craft, yeah. If you have a YouTube channel already, Alison, or would like to have, I think you're meaning you've already got one. If you'd like to join our Discord group, then you'd be very welcome on board. It was set up by a load of resin crafters, but it doesn't have to be resin craft. Susie's going to steal all Sally's resin craft stuff. That's the opposite to what I did, Susie. I took a load of mine and gave it to Sally. Oh, nice one, Alison. So if you want to join our group, then yeah, just jump on board. I bet Julia would share for us your link for the invite again. Anybody on this chat, as I said earlier, anybody who's in this chat who doesn't have or isn't at least thinking of having a YouTube channel, please don't grab this link that Julia will share for us, because it is a group purely for crafting YouTubers, or artists, YouTubers, or whatever. It won't be any help whatsoever to anybody else. So whilst everyone's welcome, it's within that niche, because otherwise you may as well just be in a normal general crafting YouTube Discord group, of which there are already plenty. I think Julia's just gone to look for it again. Okay, look, it's gone dark while I've been sat here. Oh, blimey, that's a big long link. That's a YouTube link. Almost at 200. Is that subscribers? You're coming on well then. Nice one, Alison. I'm not sure that's the right link there, Julia. I think that's the link for this chat. Sure, she'll grab it in a sec. It's not. Okay. That's the link for this chat, isn't it? I have the best. What should we call Julia? My co-pilot, my wingman. John and Julia and Jenna are my wingmen. Yeah, it won't be that. It'll be Julia will come back with another link in a second. It's a short one. It's a Discord group. Anybody who's not used Discord before, well, it can be complicated. We've not set it up complicated. All it is there's a general chat, and then there's a whole load of, they're called channels, but they're basically topic threads for particular things, like if you want people to look at your channel, if you've got some giveaways to tell everybody about. Wingman, yeah. So yeah, we've just set it up with a load of separate topics, and one for all the collaborations that we do and all that sort of thing as well. I think Julia's trying to find the link. Julia, if you're stuck, just tell me in chat and I'll dig it out. Oh, that's it. She's got it. That link does actually expire after a couple of days anyway. So if anybody who's not in the groups and wants to join it, and the other, fit within that crafty YouTuber category, do it quite quickly, because I think I've set it so they expire after a couple of days, because we had some infiltrators, shall we say, of the wrong sort. And when I say the wrong sort, nasties. So there we are. Any more questions? And any more topics you would like me to talk about? If you do think of any topics you'd like me to talk about, then drop me a note in Discord. Anybody who hasn't friended me in Discord, feel free to send me a friend request as well, by the way. Or you can drop me a line on Facebook, or you can email me. I'll put my email address into chat. Just make sure it's right. Yes, there you go. So there's my email address as well. You're welcome to drop me a line if you've got any more questions, or if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, or if that Discord link glitches out because you weren't quick enough to use it. There's my email. You can always grab me on that, or message one of the others, and we can send you a new link. Any more questions? Because we're up to an hour and a half, which I'm completely happy with. I'm quite happy sat here in the dark with my nice bottle of cold water. It's cool out here. That's the main reason. Been here so long, one of my fans has gone flat. I'm quite happy, but if you're all happy and you're thinking, oh no, we've asked everything we want to ask, commented everything we want to comment, then we can call it a day. It's up to you. So, do we want to go on for a bit longer, or are we all done? If we're all done, can you put done in the chat so I know that you're all happy and we're over? We're finished for the night. Otherwise, I should just hang around here talking rubbish for the next hour. If anybody wants to stay on after and chat with me, you're welcome to as well. If you want to have a little chat. Julie's got to feed babies. I take it that means parrots and things. Okay. Incidentally, those in the Crafty YouTubers United group, if any of you did want to have a little one-to-one chat with me, again, always with this proviso that I'm not an expert, but if you want to pick my brains on anything for what it's worth, then do drop me a line, because I am quite happy to set aside. I've already done this with a few people. Set aside and like have a look at your channel with you and things like that. I'll have a go. You know, I'll see what I can do to help. Anybody outside of the Crafty YouTubers United group, I will be offering that as a perk for the higher levels of membership on this channel as well. But for the Crafty YouTubers United, of course, it's free. I think everybody's good. No, Julie doesn't have real babies either. Lynn's off for a swim. That sounds nice. Gert needs a cold shower, and me. You're not wrong there, Gert. And Lynn, John's going to message you. Nice. Okay. Oh, hang on. There was one more question. Is it another good one? I can always rely on Sally for some cracking questions. Is it best to change where your ads are placed or leave them to as YouTube puts them in? I leave them where YouTube puts them in because I can't see them being a premium YouTube member anyway, so I don't know where they put them. I've seen what the YouTube gurus are saying about these things. At the moment, YouTube is testing some different placements of adverts, and the aim of their testing is to try to make it better. So where there's a natural pause in your video, good luck with mine because I just keep talking. There aren't really pauses. But wherever they think there's a natural break that would make sense. So they are jiggling about with that. So you'll have to see how that goes. You can do it manually. I think that's a lot of extra work. So I'd rather just bear with it, I think, personally. One thing you can do, and I have done this, is I've gone into the settings and told YouTube which things I do not want it putting into the adverts. So I don't want politics. I don't want gambling. Can't remember what else. Firearms, anything to do with guns and stuff. And I think mostly that is working. Somebody's messaged me recently and said there was one advert that they didn't think I'd like. There's a lot of swearing in it, I think. But I can't find a button to stop that. So I'm hoping it's just a one-off. But you can tell it some categories if you don't like particular things. I just don't want anything that people could argue and fall out about. And politics, religion, and guns and things. It's just, you know, and gambling. They're too contentious. Oh, hi, Lynn. So to answer your question, Sally, personally, I leave them where they are. It's another job I don't want to move them, but see how you get on, because it is the recent changes to what they're doing with the advertising, I think, is in its infancy. So I think I would feel inclined to leave it to settle and watch a few of your videos through when you're not logged in. So you're watching it as a normal viewer would, because I think you're a premium member too, aren't you? So watch it as a normal viewer would and see what you think. It's kind of a bit of a learning curve as it develops. So Lynn has just joined us. Lynn, we're actually just kind of been on here now for an hour and a half. I'm quite happy though. So if there's people still arriving or people who want to hang around or there's more questions, I'm all yours. Living life after 55. When I went to the link, does that put me in your room? Should do. You should land in the general chat, which is where we just talk all sorts of nonsense. Oh, you've already got a Discord account. Yes, it should definitely just take you straight in. It's an open invite to the group, that is. You should land in the general chat where we talk about everything from what our dog's doing and what we had to lunch to which bits hurt today. And, you know, resin won't cure, things like that. You know, it's all sorts of nonsense goes in there. But you should see, if you open up the bit where all the channels are down the side, you should see you've got all those separate threads for various topics. And the first thing you should do is go to the one that says share your channel or share your link or something like that, and share your channel link in there, because you'll probably find that most of our gang will go and subscribe to you and will enjoy watching your videos. And also, of course, we'll be keeping you up to date on what collaborate, because there's always collaborations going on. You'll see there's at the bottom of that thread list where there's all those different channels for different topics. Down the bottom, you'll see what collaborations are going on, and at the top we've got an events calendar as well. So you should be able to see what's going on within the group and shout if you've got any questions. We are a friendly bunch. I'm temperamental. I think everybody's got used to that. So there we go. Right. Any more questions? Any more questions? Anybody just want to chat? There you go. Lynn says everything hurts today. Holding grandbaby too much. Oh, is this a new grandbaby, Lynn? I wish there wasn't this delay on the chat. By the way, somebody asked me about this background. Was that my conservatory? Oh, if only. You know, I said earlier I do use some AI. That's an AI picture. Oh yeah, Gert's Mardy and Grumpy. So, not always, Gert. Oh, Froggy Friday. Yeah. Well, one of the ladies who organises Froggy Friday, that's Karen from the Dragon's Cave. She 10 months. Oh, it's probably getting to be a heavy baby as well then, Lynn. Yes, where was I? Yes, Alison, Froggy Friday. Karen, who's one of the main organisers of that, her and Lisa from Girl in the Garage, they share the list of all the time slots because they do actually run it as proper time slots. That's why we can go doink, 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 doink from premiere to premiere. That's why it looks so darned organised. And they share the playlist time slots within our Discord group so that you can see what's going on. So if you want to join in with that, I know they would be very delighted to hear from you. All you do is pop your link in the thread that they've created for it. Let them know what time slot and when you're premiering. Job's a good one. We make way too many frogs. No. You can't have too many frogs. Any more questions? Comments? Thoughts? I think we've had a few, but it's still 13 people watching. I knew there wouldn't be many in live tonight because this is a very specific topic. And generally that's what my lives will be. They will be particular things that people have asked about and that I've gone and then investigated, or something I may know about and we can get in here and share. So typically they will be smaller audiences. Lynn, Discord is a chat. It's basically a glorified chat room. That is the program. It's called Discord. And in Discord, we can just all chat to each other, and then we can set up all separate topics. So if you've got to chat about something very specific, like you want to help with something with YouTube, or you want to talk about Froggy Friday, then you've got these separate threads that you can talk in these different little topics. But yeah, Discord can do all sorts of clever things, but that's what we use it for. It's just we've just set up a fancy chat room called Crafty YouTubers United, and that is the Julia has just shared again the invite for it. It is specifically, this particular Discord group is specifically for people with Discord channels. So don't forget, not with Discord channels, with YouTube channels or thinking of having one. So don't forget, for anybody who hasn't got a YouTube channel or isn't thinking of getting a YouTube channel, don't bother applying because it won't be of any interest or use to you at all. But if you are, or you're thinking about it, then you will love it. You're absolutely the sort of person who should apply. Smarty says, good way to get your channel out there. Meaning how to publicise it? Is that what you mean, Sally? Let's pop that on screen. Do you mean how to publicise it? Yes, Gert's pointed out the Discord group is for YouTubers doing crafting or artists or anything creative like that. Sally, is that what you mean, to get your channel out there? I'm just waiting for Sally's reply to come through. It might be, but it's just delaying. I think that's what she means. So I shall answer that, and I'm sure she'll correct me in a moment if not. I would say just being very active. Oh, pop it in then, Susie. The others can all join up then. Yes, okay, I've understood Sally right. I would say just be active. I mean, we're all in and out of each other's chats to support each other, but we get seen that way as well. That's not the reason for doing it, but it definitely helps. Joining in with collaborations. I know we don't get the numbers of views like we used to on the big mass collaborations. When there was just like the one big mass collaboration, I would get tens of thousands of views out of that collaboration. Now it's spread a little bit thinner, but having said that, because there's so many collaborations, but it does get you new audiences, so it's definitely worth joining in with things like that. But generally, just being active, getting involved. If there's any Facebook groups that you could join, where you might be able to answer some of the beginners' questions and things, making yourself helpful. There's a few other side effects of that. You do get some ideas of topics to cover in videos too. But I join those sort of things just to get involved and to enjoy the company and to see who I can help. But it does have the side effect of getting your name and your face out there. Another thing I'm going to be doing, I've mentioned it a couple of times and people seem to think this is a good idea. I know some of the bigger crafters, I mean a lot bigger than me because I'm not big, but a lot of the bigger crafters say, oh, I don't have time to do any one-to-one collaborations with anybody. Well, I'm not that big as I can't. So I'm thinking of cutting back on the mass collaborations that I organise because there's so many others, maybe doing just 1 or 2 a year. But trying at least monthly to do a one-to-one collaboration with someone. I've already got one organised with Johnny. I'm going to try some of his techniques, Johnny Dark. That could be fun because, as you'll all know, his work is like nobody else's. So that's going to be a fun one for me to have a go at. And I've already said, who else did I say I was going to do one with? Sally Hart. At some point, April, I've promised. Julia and I are going to do one sometime. What I might do is just set up a little thing in a Discord group where we've got, I'll set up like a little list of dates or something, and you can sort of bag a date, and it'll be like a challenge Tracey. It'll be to challenge me to either something you've never seen me do before, or one of your favourite your techniques that you're a bit of a specialist at and I'm rubbish at, anything like that. Maybe we could have a bit of fun with that, I don't know. But if I set aside specific dates, then that will be far easier for me to plan in. Gert going me. What do you mean for a collab? I'm up for that. Like anybody, really. Well, a couple of obvious exceptions, but any of our gang, obviously. Challenge Tracey. Sherry thinks that's a good idea. I think it'd be a bit of fun, to be honest. But if it falls flat on its face, at least we'll have had a giggle, if nothing else, wouldn't it? We could even do it as a live if it's something that's like UV resin or eco-pour or something quick, couldn't we? I don't know. We'll see. I'm just trying to get a bit of fun back into this because, as you probably all know, I've had a bit of a rough time lately, and I just want to start messing about and having fun again because I do value so much of these friendships we've made in here. Okay. Have any other thoughts, ideas? What do you want, folks? Tell me. Or should I send Mark to get a bottle of wine at this point? I'm going to message him because the shop opens in a quarter of an hour or closes. Wine, please. What I'll get back is they're closed or they don't sell it anymore. Have you done a live resin project and how do you manage crafting and watching chat? No, I haven't. And that's the main reason, because if you've got your respirator on and I get resin all over my computer, I haven't got room on my desktop to do that. 2 cameras, yeah, that's really easy to set up. 2 cameras, not a problem at all. I can set up loads of cameras on this. I don't know how many, loads. I can do that. But yes, I think what Gert said, it's better if somebody else is watching chat for me. So we could do that. Because as you can see, Julia's got really good at manning the chat for me. Bearing in mind, this is the first time we've tried this. Julia's doing a fabulous job. And also, I've got a couple of other moderators who could help with that too. John and Jenna can both help with it, and anybody else who fancies helping, to be honest. So we could do it. But the other thing is, of course, the resin projects take so long. I could potentially do it with a tumbler because with the resins I use, I could probably knock out a tumbler in about 3 or 4 hours, but that's still a very long time. I did try to join in on a live with April's group, you know, the Dragons in Dresses Craft Sortium. when I say try to, I did join in, and it was lovely. We all got chatting, and it was fun. And I was just sat there happily making a load of eco-pour things because it's quite quick. So yeah, eco-resin, polyurethane, that's a thought, Julia. But again, you've got the respirator problem with polyurethane. Unless I just winged it and hoped for the best and had all the windows flung open and fans everywhere and hoped as a one-off it was okay. Because polyurethane is really evil stuff. So yes, it can be done. I could do that if you want. Then we could take questions as we go along. I would have to be able to watch the questions, although I could have Julia in my ear passing the questions on, because I won't necessarily be able to watch the chat so easily if I'm making stuff. But we could do that. We could have Julia on as a... Yeah, I've just got the inevitable nope message back from Mark. No, why me? Yeah, so we could find a way. Hi, Rachel. We could find a way of doing that, I'm sure, with the assistance of the mods. We could have the mods on screen as well, so they can talk to me and read the questions out. You'd have to tell me what sort of projects you fancied watching me doing and talking you through as I do it live, where you can ask questions. That could be fun. Are we all done, though? Because we're now coming up on 2 hours. That's a long time. Should we call it a day? I think we've got some fun ideas planned. It's just when to get them all fitted in, isn't it, really? Well, drop me a line anyway, folks. If there's any topics you particularly want me to cover, as you know, if you're in the Discord group, well, you can use my email address if not, but if you're in the Discord group, then of course we've got that thread for Tracey's monthly topic, whatever it is. Can't remember what I called it now. Chuck them in there, along with whatever questions you have on it. I know this topic was one where there was a lot of questions. The one that we started out with talking about today about AdSense and monetization. There were a couple of other topics in there. I think thumbnails was one of them. So I'll go back up and see which other ones there are and get those planned in. But if you've got any more topics you'd like me to talk about, if it's something I don't know about, or if one of you knows a load about something, then let me know, because you can come in and be a guest, and we can, I could ask the questions, and you could do some answering questions for a change, because I certainly don't know it all. There's certainly people who know a lot more about particular topics than I do. So if one of you is a bit of a specialist on something and would like to share, that would be blimmin' awesome. Please do. I was happy to have people as well. You can actually be the hosts, and I'll be in the background doing the admin side of it. It's up to you. We can use my system for that. Right. I think we'll call it a day at that then. Everybody seems to be kind of coming towards an end. Does Julia want to pop on screen and just say hello so we can say thank you, Julia? She's hiding. She can put herself on screen if she wants. She might just appear in the corner. Depends if
I'm trying to find where there it is.
Big thanks to Julia. There she is. Hello, Julia. I think I can make you a bit bigger. There she is. Can I make you bigger? No, I can move you around. I can take the chat off, can't I now? Let's hide chat overlay. There we go. And there's Julia in the corner here.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks for all your help, Julia. Gosh, it's completely dark here now. And it's still hot. Right, let's call it a day at that then. Take care, everyone. Don't forget, I've asked you a load of questions to let me know about. Do drop me a line. Any topics, any ideas, any questions, any thoughts, any offers to join in and do stuff. Hit me with it. It's all good stuff. Thank you ever so much for everyone for being here. Rachel, don't worry, you did miss a chunk at the start. I've been going for nearly 2 hours, so get yourself a cup of tea and sit down and have a watch. And take care, everyone, then. And I'll see you next time I do one of these. I'm not going to put specific dates and do it like regularly this time every month, because it will depend when we get enough topic material together. I am aiming roughly for monthly, but then again, if we get something that's a bit of a burning hot topic that we can pull together quickly, I might do it in a couple of weeks' time. Either way, I'll keep you posted. Thanks again, everyone. Night night all, and I will see you for the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.